You mentioned Malinagi, and you beat him in the States. Like you said, you had to go to the States. Americans want to see you fight in the States, right?
For sure.
And so that started your time. He was in the news last year because he was doing some training with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I know you just bumped into him in Belfast.
Yes, I did.
I'm curious because, Conor's one of those guys that takes risks like you, and yet he's kind of more brash outside the ring. What did you say to Conor when you saw him, and what do you make of him?
Okay, so what I make of him as a person, I think he's a great fighter. What he's done for MMA, especially the UFC, he's taken to a different level. Promoted it. Now he's had a bit of a falling out with UFC. In my opinion, UFC, with what he's done for them, they should give him a little bit of a stake of the company because he has promoted it and he probably will keep on promoting it. He's a great fighter. I mean, has huge nuts. I mean, goes in with anyone. Fought one of the best fighters in the world, which is Floyd Mayweather, just recently. Did really well against him. Obviously, was not a boxer. He's an MMA fighter, but still, I have to give him credit that he jumped in front of thousands of people, knowing that he's not really a boxer. But people ask me the question: was he doing it for the money? I don't think so. I think he just wants to be great. I think in his mind, he wants to be a great fighter. He wants to be one of the best. So that's why he's taking these risks and these chances. I mean, which man wants to embarrass himself? Yeah. But he doesn't. I don't see Conor McGregor being one of them guys to embarrass himself. So when I met him in Ireland just recently, I mean, he came over, gave me a hug. Lovely guy. When you go up to someone, I mean, he's a superstar, don't get me wrong. And one of the biggest names in sports. And when I walked over to him, I said, "Hey, Conor, how's it going?" He goes, "Oh, Amir, how you doing? You keeping well?" Then he walked away from his entourage and took me to a side and we had a little conversation. Talking about, I remember seeing you in the Olympic Games. Now, Conor comes from nothing. I've watched old documentaries of him, where he's come from nothing and made it into a superstar.
Very rough, very
rough and very street. I used to see the place where he used to live. I mean, in a small little flat with his wife. So you have to respect a guy, when he's done it from the bottom and now took it to the top. So I got a lot of respect for him there, and he's kept himself humble. Now, he knows the hard times. He's been through that. He never wants to see that again. Now, that's motivation on its own as well because, we don't want to be in that same position as we was in before. So that's what pushes him. That's what's keeping him. That's what drives him. But he's made a lot of money in the game, which he should. A guy like him who's promoted himself and promoted sports and other companies, I think he should be promoted.
What do you see in the way he promotes himself that you like or dislike?
I like it. You know what? There's a lot of swearing in it, so I wouldn't let my little girls watch it.
Okay. And you don't do this stuff.
I would never do it. There's personalities. We're very different.
Because you can't be incongruent with your personality, or the fans will smell that a mile away.
They'll smell that, exactly. And he is just like that. That's the way he is. That's why people like him, because he's real. He's not putting it on.
Right. So he's really like that, and he's also really humble in person.
Humble in person, honestly.
Yeah.
But he'll still, you can still see it in him, that spark, that he's got that spark in him. But I think it's the best to be yourself. In any field. I mean, myself, I've always been me. People like it, I don't like it. I'm that person. But when people have met me, so people make things up in their minds, and Amir's like this, Amir's like that. I got a lot of success early in my career. I made a lot of money in the boxing at the early stage of my career.
That's nice to hear for a change.
Yeah, and yeah, 100%. And a lot of people hate me for that.
Because you manage your business well. And
I manage it right, and I've been smart about it.
And your parents were helping you then too, and you made smart decisions.
Correct.
Okay.
So people have not liked me for that, and they've kind of thought I'm flashy. I've had nice cars. I've caught speeding, done a lot of silly things, but I've learned from them mistakes when I was young and never made them mistakes again. So I could go out there and buy anything I want, like a Bugatti, a Lamborghini, but I don't want to, because I get people talking so bad about me by just driving a Range Rover that they say, imagine if I bought a supercar. So I'd rather keep it humble. I want to live that humble life, because one day all this is going to disappear. I 100% agree. But I don't want people saying, "Oh, look at him now." So I want to live. I just want to maintain my life. I want to be happy. And everything I do now is for my kids. I just want them to live a good life. Not a spoiled life, a good life.